All right. Welcome to the Sons of Vinyl show. Mike is scared right now. I said
I am.
something to the to the record we're gonna go over today, and I kind of freaked him out a little bit. But this is the Sounds on Vinyl show. We have not one, but two announcements to make. Big, huge, giant announcements to make. In fact, it's a little bit of a plot twist from what we were saying.
Yes.
So this was gonna be almost the last episode of the Sounds on Vinyl show, but you're gonna have to wait to the end to see what's going
Ooh.
on with that.
Oh, the tension.
The tension. My name, as always, is Phil Bowyer. The dude sitting next to me, and I say next to me, he's not really next to me because he's like 5,000 miles away in a whole nother country and a whole nother thing, across the pond and everything. But his name is Mike Svensson, lead singer extraordinaire of bands past, present, and future, record store owner,
I have to have a
professor
business
rock
card.
star.
I
I
have to have a
mean,
business
it's,
card that's like this. I
I
have to,
know,
and a separate backpack or something. Put that shit out.
it's, yes, yes.
Yes.
So anyway, yeah, it's going to be a big episode, big day, man. We got all
Yes.
kinds of it's lots of exciting shit going on,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Like I can't even believe it. I can't even believe it. And what I also can't believe is that this show will is gonna sort of end where it began with a little band called Black Sabbath. Except, yes, the mob rules, or actually mob rules. It's
Mm,
interesting because the album is Mob Rules, but the song is The Mob Rules, which I
yes.
find interesting. But we'll get into it. We
Oh,
shall
yeah.
get into it. Yes, Black Sabbath, the record with the legendary Ronnie James Dio on vocals, just phenomenal singer. We all know that. I was in the car yesterday, and our radio sucks here in Idaho, but I was able to hear "Last in Line" on one of the classic rock stations, so that was
Oh,
pretty
my
cool.
God.
Yeah. Hmm.
Love that
So there
song.
we go. So Black
Yes.
Sabbath, the Mob Rules. This is freaking awesome. What are we going to talk about? First song, "Turn Up the Night."
Oh, my God. I just love the intro on how it sets the tone for the entire song and album. Ronnie's voice, man. I mean, what more is there to say? Iommi's solos, pure awesomeness. I think it's a great. I just love this song. It's a great start for an album like this. It knocks you off your socks, if you know what I mean. It's I don't I'm lost for words. Turn up the night.
I do like that it starts off with the heavy right away.
Yeah,
It does start out that way. Tony's guitar is spot on, as you would
yeah,
expect from a guy like him. You
yeah.
know, it's a good song, but I don't think it's anything extraordinary. I
Oh,
actually disagree. I think this is somewhat of a weak way to kick off the record.
mm-hmm. All right.
Unfortunately, I mean,
Yeah.
I
Too
think
bad that you're wrong.
Heaven and Hell was so spectacular. That record was so amazing, and
Mm.
I feel like this didn't match up to it. It didn't line up. It wasn't. I don't know. It just it was missing something. I don't know what, but it was missing
Oh.
that. It's like I said, it's still a good song. Don't get me wrong. It's
Mm-hmm.
I'll still listen to it. It's not like nothing else matters or anything.
No.
It's still a decent song, but I think they could have started it out a little stronger, man.
Okay. Well, you're
Yeah.
wrong, but still, you're entitled to your opinion.
You're entitled to be wrong. It's fine.
Yes, it's fine.
It's fine.
Okay. So
Oh,
so you take the lead on the next one then.
all
Let
right,
me hear it.
Voodoo.
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 Yes.
Yeah. It starts off awesome. I love the way it starts. It feels it's got more of a 70s vibe than an 80s vibe. I mean,
Yeah.
sure, we're in early 80s, but it's still it's got really that 70s vibe. It's got sort of a blues vibe too, and
Yeah,
a little bit of funk. I hear a little bit of funk going on in that. It's really an unusual song for Black Sabbath, and obviously Ronnie's vocals go really well with this, and I love the way he sings it. The solo is kick ass. I mean,
yeah.
there's no other way to put it. It's kick ass, and it sounds live, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
It
Yeah,
has that like you're. It was recorded on stage somewhere, not
yeah,
in a studio somewhere. Um, this one's actually one of my favorites on the record. I would have liked it them to start it with this one.
yeah. I think
Personally.
they record stuff live back in the day. I think
Yeah.
that's the way they did it. So I think I agree with you. I mean, is there anything that Ronnie can't sing? I mean,
No,
I
no.
it's nuts. I agree with you with the bluesy thing on this. I mean, and I like how Vinny Appice's drum playing is so laid back, and you can still hear him pounding it off, and it's so man, it's so there's a certain finesse to his playing. I just love that about him. It seems so effortless when he plays. My God, Jesus, and I dig this song too. I mean, it's oh my God. I could see them starting off the album with this one too. I agree, but it's my God, voodoo, Jesus, come on.
Yeah, there you go. The sign of the Southern Cross.
Yes. Really heavy song, man. I just love how the drums dictate the progression of the song and how both the bass and guitar seems to only color the song together, if you know what I mean, and run his
Mhm.
vocals on top of this. Oh my God. And it's so laid back with his voice, and it's sort of like eerie, if you know what I mean. It's
Mhm.
so it's I mean, I remember we talked about Ronnie some like 100 episodes ago. I mean, he's done stuff since the 50s. I mean, you can hear the progression in his vocals, but it's sort of like he opens up his mouth and there is something just awesome, epic coming out. And I don't know what the man does. It's my God.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I mean, it's what he you listen to that Ronnie and the Red Caps and all that, like you listen to that early stuff and what he did up until his last day. It's
Yeah.
just it's the same, but it's different. And
Yeah.
like you said a
Yes.
minute ago, is there anything this guy can't fucking sing? And
No,
I don't
I
I
yeah,
wouldn't want him to
right?
try to sing country, but I do think he could probably sing country if he wanted to.
Yeah, better than country singers, I
Yeah,
bet. I
yeah.
mean, it's fucking insane. And it's crazy because people I don't think that people really know how good this man is. I mean, people like you and I that listen to Sabbath and Dio, of course, but people on the broader scale, they don't know. I Because I was listening to a Swedish podcast with this like famous producer, and he said, and the guy who was like, it was his podcast, and this producer was invited to be a guest, and the guy who runs the podcast, he's some metalhead like you and I, so he talked about like Saxon and Dio and so forth, and he said, oh, I don't like that with dragons and swords and demons and that's just crap, and those guys, they can't sing for real. And he mentioned Dio, and I thought, oh, what the hell? I mean, have
Mhm.
you listened to his voice? I mean, even though you're not a metalhead, you you have to be able to spot his greatness in some way, don't you think?
Yeah, how can you how can you not?
It's
It's all right
insane.
there. I mean, seriously, like there are non-metal, non-rock artists that I can listen to that it's like, okay, this is not my flavor, but this is good stuff, right?
Yeah.
The vocalist is good, or the guitarist is good, or
Yeah.
whatever it is, right? I was in Nashville a couple years ago, and obviously that there's a lot of country there, and I heard a lot of country music, and I hate country, but I did hear a lot of talented bands
Yeah.
there. I mean, there's so much talent in Nashville, it's insane. And for somebody to hear Ronnie Dio sing and be like, no, that guy can't sing. I'm like,
I mean, it's
no,
insane.
no, no.
No, because
Talk about being wrong.
yeah, you see, because if you take things down like you listen to Voodoo or the Sign of the Southern Cross and or whatnot, I mean, it's I don't know. How could you say that the dude can't sing? It's to me, it's mind blowing. I mean, I don't. I'm not a huge fan of Queen, but I can recognize Freddie Mercury's voice because that dude can sing or could. I mean, it's
Mhm,
insane. He's really talented. I mean, and it's like you say with Nashville and country music and whatnot, but you can spot a person that knows how to hold his own with tone and vocal range and whatnot, and to say that I don't like Ronnie James Dio because it's all about Dungeons and Dragons and swords and heaven and hell and whatnot, then you haven't listened to that kind of music.
mhm.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
you don't
yeah.
have to like it, but you should be
No,
able to appreciate it, right?
yeah,
I
and
mean,
respect
yeah.
it, I
I mean,
think.
you listen to this song, "The Son of the Southern Cross," and you tell me this is not a phenomenal song. You tell me that the vocals on here are bad. I mean, eh, he transitions from these high notes to these
Yeah,
low, deep notes.
yeah,
It's just amazing, the range
yeah.
that this guy has. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
it's
was
like
just thinking about it, the range,
the
fuck
ra
me.
like, it's just incredible. This song is just oh, it's got such a great groove. It doesn't really feel like a Sabbath song to me,
No?
but at the same time, it feels like Heaven and Hell's the song Heaven and Hell's like cousin,
Yeah,
if that
yeah,
makes any sense.
yeah,
It
oh,
feels
yeah,
very
oh, yeah,
related to like Heaven and Hell. And
I agree.
it's the solos got this psychedelic thing going on. Um, it's just I don't know. It's sort of like Dazed and Confused in a way. The
Yeah,
song is so multi-layered. It's got this whole like it starts off with this acoustic thing, and then it's just it's just insane. Like the journey that this song takes you on,
yeah,
and then when you and that's even without the vocals, and then you layer Ronnie's vocals on top of that. It's just like
yeah,
fucking hell. It just takes it to a whole nother fucking level. So yeah, anybody that cannot appreciate that, I don't know what to say.
no,
I
fuck
guess
them.
go back to listening to fucking Post Malone and Megadeth, and we'll leave you
Yeah,
be.
my god. Oh, Jesus. Alright. Moving along, E5150, an instrumental track. What do you
Mhm.
think?
Um, I like how the guitar or whatever it is fades in from the last song into this one.
Yeah,
I'm not exactly sure what this song is. Um,
no,
it's like some David Bowie instrumental kind of thing going
yeah.
on. I don't know. I could have done without it.
Do you know what I think? I agree with you to a certain point, but this is like typical Sabbath to put this on an album. And I think I listened to it back to back a couple of times to just to make I mean, I was like you, what the hell is this? And I think it's a great build up to the next song. I think it's sort of like it transcends into it's that mystical stuff that Sabbath got about him, if you know
Mhm.
what I mean.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
at first wasn't keen on it, but I think it's grown on me. It's sort of like you talked about this with I think it was Sabotage that we did. There was a song that I thought was, "What the hell is this?" And then you thought, "Well, this is a great build up to the
Oh, it's
next
like, yeah,
song.
it's like an intro, sort of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not an
yeah.
intro. Yeah, but
Okay,
it
yeah, I guess I could see that. I could
yeah,
see that. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And speaking of the next song,
The mob rules.
the mob rules, man. I don't know what to say. I'm at loss for words here. I just love everything about this song. The vocals, the lyrics, the drums, the guitar, the solos, all of it. One of my all-time favorite songs. I almost shit my pants when I actually got to see Heaven and Hell do this live. I got to see Black Sabbath with fucking Ronnie James Dio,
Mhm.
and cross that off my list, both with Ozzy and Dio. Jesus, my God! But Dio, to hear him sing these songs live with Tony Iommi, I mean, Vinny Appice, Geezer Butler. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. What do you have to say for yourself, man? What?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a classic. Everybody loves it. I know. I'm in a minority. It's a good song. It's like the first one, right? It's it's nothing extraordinary. I mean,
I
I
think my
I
heart
think
is gonna
if it
stop.
wasn't for Ronnie singing, the song wouldn't actually be good. I don't think people
Then we
would think
wouldn't
this
talk
song
about
is good.
this. If Ron wasn't singing, we're not talking about this.
I mean, Ronnie made all the mediocre tracks on this record.
Yeah,
Ronnie, if it wasn't for Ronnie, they'd be duds.
yeah.
They'd be shit songs. Let's be honest, they'd be.
Oh,
And I mean, it's got all the it's got attitude. It's got Tony's great guitar work. It checks all the boxes, but
yeah.
it's just nothing. It's not Black Sabbath worthy, and the only worthy part of this
Hmm.
is Ronnie's vocals.
Okay. I don't see it. I don't see it. It's a classic epic song. And
It
you're
is.
wrong once again. But you're entitled to have your opinion.
Once again, you're
What?
entitled to be wrong.
You're entitled to be wrong. Well, yeah, okay. I did not expect that, but still, all right. So no mob rules for you and no turn on the night.
Well, I mean, I'll listen to them. It's not like I said, they're okay songs. They're not bad songs. Don't get me wrong. Don't take it like this is another Black Album thing. I'm not saying these are bad songs. They're not just. It's that I feel that they're not great songs. They're not
Okay,
songs that I would expect Black Sabbath to put out. These would be great songs by another band, but not
yeah,
by the talent that is in this lineup right here. No.
okay,
I don't think this is a great song for who's putting this together.
okay. I think we're going to quickly move into the next one.
Are you
Coventry
sure?
Girl. Okay, let it rip. Coventry Girl.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah,
Somebody explain. I listened to this thing like 4 times while getting ready for the show, and I can't wrap my head around this. I'm not. I have no idea what they were going for with this one. Um, Part of me does like it. The
yeah,
other part of me is like, what the fuck are we doing with this thing?
yeah.
It sort of has an anthem feel, but then it doesn't. I don't know. It's a weird fucking song.
Yeah, it's a real modest song if to me. I mean, it sounds amazing when Ronnie sings it, but I don't know what they're aiming for with this one. I like it when it drops down around like the 2 minute mark. Great guitar solo, but that's about it.
Mm,
Not my favorite song, but I think
mm-mm.
still decent. But I had to listen to it a couple of times. It was a long time ago. I listened to it, so but it's
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't. I agree with you. I don't know what's going on here.
yeah. This
Coventry
was
Girl and the title too.
yeah.
Don't get
Country
don't get it.
Girl
Yeah.
slipping away. What do you
Yeah.
think of this one? I'm interested what you think of this one, because we're going to go back when I get my chance to talk about this. We're going to go back to something you said a little earlier. So I'm really curious to see what you
Yeah.
have to say.
I love the heavy drum intro with that backbeat thing. I get the bluesy touch of it. I think the chorus is great. Awesome playing by both Iommi, Ronnie, and Vinny, and Geezer. It seems to have fun with this one.
Mhm.
There's something going on there. I think it's a great song.
You do? You think it's a great song? Okay.
Yeah, I do. And you
So
don't.
this one reminds me of a Queen song that would have been on the record "The Game" that
Oh.
Sabbath covered.
Oh.
I think even the solo has like a Brian May kind of vibe feel to it.
Oh.
So that's why I was curious to see if you like that, because you're not a Queen fan.
No.
And
I'm not.
obviously the vocals are completely different. So I'm not trying to compare this to Freddie Mercury versus Ronnie Dio. Just in the music part of it, I think this sounds like Queen quite a
Yeah.
bit. So I like it. I think it's a good song. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, The Game is one of my favorite Queen records. So I think this song would have fit right in on that record. I dig it. I like it.
Yeah. I haven't heard that The Game.
The
with-
Game?
No.
It's the one that's got Another One Bites the Dust on it.
Oh.
And from, I think it's 1980, I think it came out, if I remember
Oh.
right. 80, 81.
All right.
So, yeah.
So this is better than Country Girl?
Oh, hell yeah.
Little
Hell yeah.
country girl. Slipping away with my country girl. I don't know.
I don't know either.
No, but it's
Falling off the edge of the world. Oh,
falling
you got more
off
to
the
say?
edge of the world. No. What can I say? What can you say about this one? Okay, you go first. I'm scared right now.
I
Phil
think
doesn't like Sabbath and
fuck
the
Black Sabbath.
rules.
I think this foreshadows the band Heaven and Hell.
Okay.
I think what that record that they put out is Heaven and Hell. I think this song like foreshadowed that. It kind of has in structure and song structure. It reminds me a lot of the Bible Black on that record.
Yeah.
I love the way it kind of starts off mellow, like the Bible Black did, and then gets really heavy. The riff, once it speeds up, is just freaking awesome. I don't know. There's some about this one that just hits me. I love it. I think it's awesome. I think it's a great song.
I'm so scared right now. So I'm just afraid that you're gonna say, but
No, there's no big but at the end of
it
this
reminds
one.
me of
It.
Bob Dylan's album back in 1969, where he's saying, "Yeah, it's in the basement, mixing up the medicine and the people." I don't know what's going on.
I don't think I would ever compare Ronnie James Dio to Bob Dylan. No, that would be, if I ever do that, just
shoot you now.
Just yeah.
Yeah.
Just yeah. No.
No, I agree. This is for me. This is an epic song. This is like what they're meant to do. Everything is so well thought out. The heavy drums with the Iommi's classic guitar riff, like you mentioned before, and in that long intro thing where it blows my mind every time I hear it. And then when it starts out, and you can really hear how pure brilliance in Geezer Butler's playing, how well he's. I mean, he doesn't get credit enough for his bass playing, I think.
I agree.
And for his arrangements, it's a so well written song. It scares me sometimes. I mean, it's fuck me.
Yeah. This and like I that. What was the name of that? Was it just Heaven and Hell? What was the name of that record that they did?
Heaven and
Drawing
Hell.
a blank. Yeah. Was it self-titled?
Yeah.
At any rate, I think that one, that's one of my favorite Black Sabbath records with this lineup in it.
Yeah.
Right. with Dio on vocals and stuff. I think this is really, and like I said, this one foreshadows it. So it's definitely one of my favorites on the record.
It's a great song, epic song. Okay, so
We're at the
are
last one already, man.
yes, are they going to go out in style? We don't
Over and
know.
over. What do you?
It's
What do you?
it's it's uh, it's up to Phil at the moment. Are
Uh-oh.
they going out in style or what? What do you have to say for yourself? Over and over.
A fucking ballad. Really?
Yes.
You're gonna end this thing with a fucking ballad.
Hmm.
Why? Why would you do this? The only redeeming part of this shit show of a fucking song is Ronnie Dio's vocals, and that's it. I mean, I mentioned Ronnie and the Red Caps earlier. I feel like this really, you could hear Ronnie's pull from that era of singing, and which just shows you that he can sing anything whenever he wants, whatever style he can just pull it out and do
Yeah.
it. He's that talented. I think it's a very disappointing way to end the record, but at least it's aptly named.
Yeah.
Over.
And over again. As Phil
Yes.
demolished the mob rules into the oblivion, the abyss of death. No more Black Sabbath. No more mob rules for Phil freaking Bowyer from Idaho.
We'll see. We'll
I
see.
don't.
I haven't given it my final thoughts yet, but what do you think of this ballad
I
here?
think
This over and over.
I think it's a great, a really heavy and powerful ending to this album. I don't hear the ballad thing like you do, but I think that every time a song slows down for you, it's a ballad.
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's
Yeah.
mellow stuff. There's a lot of trying to think one, and of course I can't off the top of my head, but there's mellow stuff. We talked about some of the Sabotage. There's some mellow stuff on there that I
Yeah.
liked. So there's some even mellower stuff that Queensryche does that
Yeah.
I enjoy. I think again, I just it feels like a ballad to me when especially when compared to the rest of the songs on the record.
Yeah. That I can agree upon, but no, I don't think it's a ballad per se. It's heavy stuff. It's powerful, and I think it's I mean, of course, they could have ended it with a bang, but I think still it's sort of like it gets closer to it. I think it's a great song, and I think Ronnie does a great job with the vocals and together with Tony, and Geezer, and then it's I think it's a great one.
So a
It's a
strong way to end it.
it could have been stronger, but I'm not opposed to it.
Okay.
I think it's it's an okay song to end the album with. So,
Okay.
final thoughts for Phil freaking Bowyer from the land of Down Under.
7 for 10.
7 for 10.
And it only gets that high because it's Ronnie.
Oh,
I like the album Heaven and Hell record better, and I like the band Heaven and Hell
yeah,
better than this one. This one was overall it was a disappointment. It's got good songs on it. I expected more from this record, to be honest, and maybe that's on me. I expected too much from this, especially after Heaven and Hell. But
yeah,
it gets a 7 for 10, so it doesn't get that bad of a rating. It's not a 10 for 10, but
no.
no. So what do you got?
I mean, I just regret that it was only 2 albums with Dio on vocals. So I hold this one in also in high regards, and it is because of Ronnie still doing the best he can with what was an epic band from 1970 up until 78, 79 before Ronnie joined the band. And it's, I mean, how could you possibly do vocals for a band like Black Sabbath and get away with it? Well, Ronnie could, I think. So, I mean, and when I saw there is, um, I don't know, I think it's Gibson that did a show called Icons, and it's featuring a lot of artists and guitar players, and they had Tony Iommi, and he said, well, when I first met Ronnie, and heard what he could do with my songs, it's sort of like it opened up to a whole new thing. He could do all this crazy stuff that I could only dream of as a guitar player. That stuff he could sing. So for me, it's both Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules are sort of like almost equal to the task, but it's mainly because of Ronnie, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to give this. I rated it a 10 out of 10, not because of the songs, but the whole package that Ronnie comes with to make Black Sabbath so interesting. I mean, both Mob Rules and Heaven and Hell are like epic albums, and people are going ape shit about Ozzy's quitting the band and they throw him out or whatnot, and how dare they. But I cannot think of a Black Sabbath fan that doesn't like some stuff that Ronnie did. I mean, how often is that even possible to change a lead singer like that and get away with it?
It's extremely rare. I think we've in our lifetime we've really only seen it what 3 times:
Yeah,
AC/DC, Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, you look at Priest. I mean, one could argue Ripper was a really good replacement for Halford, but the Ripper wasn't. He was a copy. He was
yeah.
a carbon copy,
Oh yeah,
really, and he wasn't Rob Halford. He didn't have the same showmanship that Rob has. So
and
I
not the
wouldn't
same
count that.
voice either.
No, I mean, you look at Queensryche with I've drawn a blank on his name. He's also pretty much a carbon copy of Jeff Tate, right?
Yeah,
He's not. I mean, he's still a great performer. I think he's better than Ripper was, but and he's not bad, but it's still no, it still
yeah.
doesn't really. It's not the epicness you had with Brian Johnson and Bruce Dickinson
No,
and Ronnie Dio. It's not the same. It's just not the
no,
same.
no.
It's just not that epic. Like, how do you follow Ozzy
Yeah, yeah,
after all
yeah.
that?
That's what I
And Ronnie
mean.
comes in, and it's a different band. If we're being honest, and we talked about this, but it is a different band. Like the music did change. Like where Black Sabbath was at the end with Ozzy, that became Ozzy's solo stuff, right?
Yeah,
And then when Ronnie came on board, it became the new era of Black Sabbath.
yeah,
Um, so I'm with you. I'm very disappointed that it was only the 2 records that
yeah,
that we had. I love what you said a minute ago when you said he made it interesting, and
yeah,
it's true. He took these songs and he gave them a different he gave it a life, if you will.
yeah,
It gave it some kind of personality. It really animated the song in a way that Ozzy couldn't do. Ozzy was
yeah,
he was great with Sabbath. I love all those records with Ozzy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Ozzy sucks and should be banned like Post Malone. I'm saying Ronnie was a whole different ball game, and those songs were a completely different thing.
yeah. I agree. I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, we're only able to pin down like three bands. That's crazy. that had that change,
Mm-hmm.
and Ronnie was one of them. I mean, how epic is that? Jesus. I mean, and then he progressed into doing his own thing, and that was like almost even better. But it's also different. But I mean, the dude can reinvent himself all the time. Rainbow, Black Sabbath, his own band. It was, I mean,
Yeah.
three epic musical projects, if you know what I mean. And he
Mm-hmm.
made them fly, all of them.
Yeah, he was an amazing dude. And it was I don't really get sad when celebrities die. I don't know them. I don't get personally invested. But when Dio's death, when I heard of Dio's death, that did hit me because that
Yeah,
there was so much talent in that dude. And to not have any more from that guy was
yeah,
really sad to me. That
I agree.
he was such a performer and such a lover of his fans, and just he always gave 110%.
Yeah,
And it was really sad to see that go away.
I totally agree. So sad, so sad.
And that's why I like that this rendition of Sounds on Vinyl is we're celebrating him and what he accomplished
Yeah,
with Black Sabbath. And
yeah,
I am glad too that he was able to come back to Black Sabbath later on and do that Heaven and Hell record. And um, we got that other chance to hear
yeah,
this group come together again
yeah,
and do some really great stuff. And
yeah. It's
and
insane.
and I couldn't, like, if you think of those songs on that Heaven and Hell record, to hear Ozzy on those, they wouldn't be the same.
No, no, no. They wouldn't be able to make an album like that with Ozzy. No
No.
way.
So there we go.
There we go.
Mob
The mob
rules.
rules. Woohoo!
There we go.
Yes.
All
And
right.
now,
Now,
people.
we have not one but two major announcements. So this
Yes,
was to be the final last Sounds on Vinyl episode, which is
yes.
why I said earlier we were going to end where we began.
Oh yeah.
However, there's been some developments. There has been some things that have gone down over the last couple of weeks. And Mike is here to
Yes.
tell us all about what those developments are.
Oh
So,
yeah. We're at the moment we're planning on doing a show in Swedish, um, which is going to be sort of like similar, but not. That
not.
make any sense at all? We're going to talk about music, of course. We're going to talk about vinyl records. It's going to be mainly focused on more of like local bands, and of course on my record store, the Sounds on Vinyl record store. Because I got asked, I'm not going to go into details. I got asked to do a podcast in Swedish, and with the blessing from Mr. Phil Bowyer, I am going to do this one in Swedish. I don't know how many episodes it's going to be recorded, but it's we're gonna try it out and see if it's gonna fly, and if it's not, well, fuck you. Oh, so it's gonna live on in a smaller scale, but it's gonna be here. But I think you still need to go back and listen to a lot of the great episodes that we have done over the years, Phil and I. And speaking of Black Sabbath, we did some stuff with Dio. So go check that out. We had great guests on our show. Phil Shouse, who played with both Gene Simmons' band and his Frehley band. He's a great guy, a huge Beatle fan. We had Janis Schaffer, who was the guitar player for ABBA. We had Matthew Barson. Uh, Phil, who was that
the
guy?
vinyl diplomat.
The
He was the
vinyl
guy,
diplomat.
he was the ambassador for both the US and later in Sweden.
Yeah,
And his claim to fame was he would use vinyl records. He had
yeah,
a player and a bunch of records in his office that he would play and invite like any guests and diplomats that he would have to meet with. He'd say, "Hey, go pick a record and put it on, and we'll listen to it as we chat," which I think
Yeah,
is just freaking awesome. I think it's
it is.
such a great idea, and maybe the world would be a better place if more
Yeah,
diplomats did
and
that.
he had, like, guests like Annie Lennox from
Yeah.
Eurythmics
Oh, that
playing
story
the
was so
piano.
awesome.
I mean, it's I there's a lot of people that that's come to my store and talked about the podcast, and there is a lot of people that mentioned the Vinyl Diplomat episode with Matthew Barsham, and they
Mm,
said, "Oh my god, I couldn't believe it!" Like Annie Lennox and who was else? Was it? I don't remember, but that was a
yeah,
great episode. That was a great episode.
that was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, you got any other favorites that
Oh,
just
you
to
know,
reminisce
I
on?
I will say this. I've been doing a music related show off and on since 2005. And it's been so much fun to do that, meeting so many cool people, you, for instance, you know. But doing this show is a completely different than any of the music shows I'd done before. And it's been a great journey talking about these records like we just did, right? Like you like these songs and I don't like these songs. And
Yeah,
to say I have a favorite would be like, okay, what's my favorite kid? You
yeah,
know, they're all a lot of fun. I've learned a lot. It's to have like Soren on for like an
yeah.
entire
Oh yeah,
season and learn all about that. And it's just to be able to have those connections with those people and the music and um it's just I don't know it's I feel very fortunate to be able to have that experience
yeah.
to
Me
be
too.
able to talk to people all around the world and share the love of metal music and hard rock music and stuff like that. And while we may disagree on this song or that song or whatever album or band, you know, at the end of the day, we can get together and have some whiskey and you know really enjoy the music that we all love together.
Oh
and
yeah,
and so this has been a really fun run for me as co-host of this thing, and I'm glad we gave it a go. I'm really
oh yeah,
glad. I mean, I don't even know how many episodes we have, but it's like 170, I think it is something like that, or 150 somewhere. It's we've got we had a really awesome run, and it's in a way it's sad that that's this format here is ending, but it's also very exciting that you've got the Swedish version coming. I think that's awesome. You know that we're going to tweak it a little bit and
yeah,
dive into the more independent stuff,
yeah.
and I think that's really cool. So
And
yeah.
who knows? Maybe Phil is willing to be a guest on that Swedish episode. I mean, who
Hmm.
knows? Anything can happen. Because you know what? We fucking decide what's gonna air and what's not. So we're in
Uh,
complete control.
I don't know if I could do the Swedish part.
No, that
You'll
will
need Swedish sub. I'll speak in English, and you can
yeah.
have the Swedish subtitles or
I
whatever.
mean,
But
we'll do one in English just for the heck
or
of
I'll
it.
get like 11 labs to like do my voice, but do it in
Yeah.
Swedish. We'll just
That
do
would be fun.
yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I think it's great. You know, that's what I love about this kind of thing is we can do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah.
We can end it or not end it, and we can end it one way and take it to a whole nother direction. And
Oh, yeah.
you know, it's awesome.
It is.
So keep listening to the Sounds on Vinyl show.
Oh, yeah.
More details to come. So keep your eye out
Yes.
for this. And for the second announcement,
Oh, yeah.
the second announcement. So the Mike and I and my wife, we're going to be working on a brand new show. It's called Concrete and Steel. It's nothing at all like this show or the new Sounds on Vinyl show. It's a fiction-based show about a musical duo called Concrete and Steel, which my wife Kate and I will play those characters. Mike is going to play multiple characters, including himself. He's going to be Mike, the record store guy. Some of the episodes will take place in the record store, in Mike's record store. The record store is going to be somewhat of a character in and of itself. It's going to be really fun the way we bring the record store to life in this. But basically, it's about this duo that's really famous in Scandinavia, but they're virtually unknown everywhere else. But they think they're big. They think they're big everywhere. They have this big ego, right? So it's a comedy podcast. It's comedy. It's music. You could think of it as Spinal Tap meets the Monkees, the old Monkees TV show, if you're familiar with that, with a little tiny slice of Ted Lasso. That's how I would describe this. There's going to be original music from Concrete and Steel. And did I mention that this is animated? This is going to be an animated TV show. So this isn't really going to be a podcast. This is going to be an animated video show that we're doing. I'm going to be doing all the animation for it. We've started development on it, but it's very early days. So I'm not going to tell you any more. It's going to be it. I'm not going to ruin it. I'm not going to say any more about it, but that'll be coming soon. And I personally can't fucking wait, because Mike is I joke all the time in the beat, like he's this lead singer extraordinaire guy. And he does that brilliantly, right? He's awesome at that. As a musician, he's fucking top notch. But as an actor, as a voice actor, he's also very good. Like he worked with us on a podcast called A Walk in Darkness, and he played a character called Snore, who was an old Viking guy back in the day. And that was a lot of fun to do that. So, and that was just more of a small recurring role. So with this, it's going to be really fun to work with.
Oh, stop
Mike
it. I'm
and
blushing right
characters.
now. Stop
It's going to be
it.
awesome. I can't fucking wait. And yeah, so stay tuned for that. Mike and I will keep you updated. So this podcast feed that you're listening to, it's gonna get real fun over the next few months.
Oh, yeah.
So keep listening, keep subscribed, because you'll get the new Sounds on Vinyl show in Swedish. You'll get the updates on the Concrete and Steel stuff. You'll get all kinds of fun stuff. So it's gonna be a blast. Lots of cool stuff coming on. So at one hand, I'm a little sad that this is ending, but at the other side, I'm very excited about what's coming, what's new in the future. And yeah.
Yes. And swing by the Sons on Vinyl record store.
You might as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's located at Krusegatan 23 in Malmö, Sweden. So come by, get your free coffee and some cookies, and you talk about music, and you you shoot the shit and buy some records or listen to him. Why don't you?
Yeah.
So I'm there every Thursdays between 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Saturdays between 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So just fucking Google it and you'll find the record store in Malmö, Sweden.
Make it happen.
It's on Google Maps. So you can Google Maps yourself there, and you can look at pictures.
Are you allowed to Google Map yourself in public? Is that okay, or?
Oh, yes.
Should you keep that in private? I don't know.
Oh, I Google Maps myself all the time. It's only healthy for you, son.
Yes, it's healthy.
It's healthy.
Don't believe the myth that you'll go blind by Googly mapping yourself.
Oh, cool.
Oh, man. Okay. Yes. Well, I guess we have to end it, don't we?
Yes. Keep your ears to the ground and for what's to come.
Yes.
Until we see you again. Later.
Later.